Testing. Hello? There we go. That was weird. Anyways, Reaper couldn't find my folder for some reason where I put my microphone. Anyways, I'm PNG right now because, since I'm doing art, my sitting position will be a bit different. But today, we will be basically working on, I'm gonna turn down the music a little bit, uh, some reference stuff. So last night, I finished this, which basically is going to be the design that I use for my eventual 3D model, and I used the first design. So this is like I call it the practice sheet, basically a reference sheet with some extra stuff. So essentially, what I want to do today is make a second thing, another reference sheet. This music is a bit too loud for me on my side. 1 second. Alright, I just turn it down on my headphones. Now I can hear myself think. So I want to make essentially a reference for the basic shapes that I would be making in Blender, and then on top of those basic shapes, the like outfit itself. Because it'll be important to know around about where my joints are, just because once I get to modeling, it might be kind of difficult to tell where I was planning to do things, if that makes sense. So yeah, just nothing too complicated, just some hard work. So let me go ahead and make a new thing. It doesn't need to be that big. I feel like, hmm. Let me change the size here. 1000 by 800. There we go. I think that's good. Now on this, the main thing I want is that. So this is going to be the main reference point for this because it's the full body. Now this doesn't quite work for the 3D model because let me save this real quick. Where is it? There it is. The Dragon Knight 3D. There we go. There we go. All right. That's all saved, so I don't need to do that again. So the problem is that most of this is fine, but I need it to be in a T pose, essentially, because doing the T pose from the start makes the rest of the modeling process a lot easier, including the rig. And that was the main mistake I made with the bike model that I did for VR chat. Hopefully. Whoops. Oh, I didn't want to click something on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you, Toki Bird Clips. Let me just minimize. Yeah, I'll just close Firefox. It's fine. All right. So the main thing I want to do right now is kind of sketch out what the body parts are. So let me put this in like a reference folder. Refs. There we go. And then let me get like basic parts. Let me rearrange my browsing set or streaming setup real quick. just so I can see everything that's important. There you go. All right. So now that's his notes folder, and it's blue. I think this pencil should be fine. Since I need a T-pose, being still symmetrical would be good. Let me like find the middle real quick. Come on. Ah, okay. Weird. What if I think that's better. Yeah. All right. Oops. What did I just do? There we go. All right. So the head. Probably like start with the jaw. Actually, that's the part I can actually see. That's pretty close. The nose is somewhere around here. Mouth is around here. Let me just. Yeah. So it's kind of gonna look like a mannequin. And in the neck. Around about there. Body might actually be a little bit lower. I think that's good. Let me go ahead and look at the reference book I'm using real quick, because I am using Toriyama's like art style. So I want some kind of idea of just roundabout what he would do. Depends on the character design, I guess. His characters go from long neck to kind of stout but beefy. And I think for this character, a little bit wider would probably be better. Probably start around the same place, but with a little bit of an angle. I think that's good. Let's add like the hair as it would appear, just to give an idea of like the size. And it has a bit of a forehead, more than usual, but because it's Toriyama. Yeah, I think that's good. The shoulders are going to be around here. Okay, so the way I think I'm going to do this is obviously these arms aren't straight out. This one right here, oh, it's symmetry. The one on the left is probably closer, I would say, to being straight. So if I'm going to use it to reference what an arm straight out would look like, this would probably be a good one to start on. So The arm kind of follows that. Elbow is there-ish. And then forearm goes about that way. And then the wrist right there. Yeah, that's pretty close, I would say. So let's see. From here, so the belt is here, but actually, the actual waist is down here. Occasionally, characters with tunics in like the Dragon Quest style, or I think this also happens in Dragon Ball with Great Saimon. The belt is probably a bit higher up in the body than you would think, which is why I did it like this. But let me see. The waist may actually be a little bit higher than that. Okay, in the middle, the torso is around there. That might come in handy later. I'm just marking it now. I think that's good. Just trying to get an idea of the angle things are at. Yeah, okay. I think the arms would actually be a little bit bigger. I think might be just an issue with the elbow. Yeah, I think that's better. The legs, nothing crazy. So somewhere around here is the knee. And but now I think this leg came in just a little bit too much. That's something like that. The knee. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah. Okay, so if I'm gonna make a model, this should be fine. Put the ankle around there, and then the feet. while usually the feet would be smaller than the shoe, uh, if I don't have feet, if I don't need to like render them, I can just make these the size of the shoe. Something like that. So this is very basic, but this is what I would use as like the reference material mostly for the 3D model. So I would put this in the background of Blender behind the, what the heck? This will go in the background of the like modeling interface so that I can basically draw, or not draw, but shape the model over it so that I can match the shapes. This is the very basic one, at least. I would want to get more detailed, of course. This gives me an idea of what I would want. Now, before I can do anything, though, I said that we need to adjust the arm, right? We're going to erase one of them. And we're just going to rotate it. Somewhere around there. Yeah. Although, actually, that'd be smarter if I do it this way. There we go. Now there's a copy of it. What? Oh, wait, that was cut and paste. No, I want copy and paste. Yeah, that's pretty close. This obviously needs to be straightened out a bit more. Um, Let me go ahead and erase this stuff we don't need. Keeping that circle there will end up being useful. Just so I can line it up later. Same there. Okay. Let me go ahead and... I might want that later. There you go. Okay. The next section needs to be straightened out a bit. Yeah, there you go. Okay. That should give me the approximate length it needs to be. Because I haven't I haven't like stretched or squashed anything. This is literally how it appears on the model. Or on the original. So now, with this behind, this is probably not a necessary step, but probably be nice. Let's redraw it. That kind of looks like the arm is going upwards if I do it that way. Yeah, there you go. And then, if I remember correctly, when I did the bite model, the hands were. Let me see if I can find it. Because however I did it, it was wrong. There we go, found it. Okay, so the hands were like flat, but I think the way I actually they're seen from the side here, right? But I ended up making the hands like this, I think, facing forward. I do not believe that was the right move. Let me look up a sample 3D model in a T pose. Okay, yeah, in a T pose, your hands are face down. Okay. The thumb goes around about here. Like that. I think that's pretty good. That's the basic. That's the T pose. That's kind of the beginning. You can go ahead and delete that. Hmm. So now that that's done. Oh, right. Probably get the painful part done. Just starting it. Uh, Here we go. Color that. So I do need to do a side view. Um, Probably my least favorite part of the process because there's not really a good reference for me to use here, other than my own tuition. Hmm. Okay, so this would probably want to go out in front, and for now at least, let's do that. You know what? This might help a bit. Here we go. Why are my color sets so weird? I feel like I'm missing a few. Huh. Okay, whatever. So, I want to make some guidelines. So that is the bottom of the chin. That is the top of the head. There's where the neck ends. No. Okay. Fuck. Bottom and top of the ears would probably help. Okay. Top of the head should be about the same shape, I think. If I. Okay. I want to add a nose somewhere. This is Toriyama style, it's pretty pointy. Okay. I think that's pretty good. If anything, okay. So if the mouth or anywhere, yeah, I think. I don't know about this now that I've added the rest of the head. The ping. Hmm. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Let me look at some stuff. I don't think there's anything in the reference book that is quite what I would need for this. Let's see. Some stuff that's pretty close. Oh, right. I did forget. Got a very, like, sharp jaw. Not quite that sharp, but I think that's better. Hello, Gwendolf. How are you doing? Oh, water reading. Thank you. Hmm. Yep, I think that's good. Good, I'm dropping by mostly to lurk since you're doing stuff. Well, thank you for lurking, and I'm glad you like what's going on. Oh, thank you for that. Posture check. Did you talk gamer points? I see. No big boy redeems right now. Not for this exact moment. But maybe sometime in the future. Okay. I think this will help if I add. So we're done with those. Next, I want to get reference points for. That's where the bottom of the hair is going to be, like at the middle of it. And then here goes all the way up to here. And then the back of the hair should be easy enough, I think. I think. There it is. Nope, not what I wanted. No, actually, the middle section goes all the way up. Yeah, pretty good. But I probably want to include the ponytail, but I don't think it's priority right now. Okay. And this is why we do reference art. I think that's pretty good. Can't really see anything super wrong with this. I think it might help if I try. I think it's pretty good. Let's also go ahead and do this before we forget. I think that's good. Headlines are good. All right. Next, let's go ahead and get one of these. Not quite. Not quite. Come on. That's pretty good. And just that won't have anything on it. Although, oh, this track. Fatal Fight number 2, Xenosaga 2. God, I love the soundtrack. Xenosaga 2 has such an interesting soundtrack. It's generally really fun. Okay. Okay. Probably nothing too square. Okay. I think that's decent. Yeah. At least this portion is pretty easy. So, and the feet or the legs are going to be pretty simple. But I guess there's the skirt, which would get in the way of. Yeah, let me also change this to a different color. Like, no, maybe more of an orange. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Again, a lot of basic shapes, but once I get to the point where I'm adding the clothing and such, this should help a lot to inform how things should fit. Does that make sense? Because with this right here, it's a lot of complicated shapes, a lot of layers. I can like figure out the 3D shape of it and set up a blueprint essentially for me to use once I'm in Blender. Definitely going to make things easier in the long run. The basic skeleton that I'm making also is going to help with cutting out the rig, because this basically gives me a very clear indication of where all the joints are. That may become less clear as I get more detailed with the actual design. So it'll help with a few things. One thing that I regret doing on my bite model, I thought it was going to make things easier, but actually, having the segmented arms like this, it's very stylistic and very cool. I like it a lot. But each of these individual bone parts have their own bones because it was set up like this. So this is not technically a humanoid model at that point. So a lot of tools and such for rigging things ends up not working. It would have been better, honestly, if I made them connected. Because of this, I ended up also not using a single mesh for the bite model. Instead, multiple meshes, which probably made things more difficult. A lot of tutorials and such have things as one mesh. That would have been easier. It also, having multiple meshes also means multiple texture files, which got very complicated. Let me see if I can open Blender and show it. It's loading. Here we go. Window capture. There we go. So yeah, you'll see all these little segments have their own bones, which made it a bit hard because you have to apply a lot of individual weights. You have to plot out how each individual joint influences the other joints. Not exactly something I should have done as a beginner to 3D modeling and rigging. Maybe one day I can revisit this to improve it a bit. I could go into pose mode. Well, I'm currently in pose mode. Okay, so see, each of these move on their own. And of course it moves the segments after it, including on rotation. But yeah, here we go. So you see the shoulder pad actually moves with that, because the shoulder pad has a little bit of weight. But things ended up getting a little complicated when I started trying to apply weight across the whole arm. The actual solution I came up with was just that they have no weight on each other than the fact that they are parent and child bones. Same deal with the legs. Yeah. And then the scarf, of course, is also like that. But you'll see that this actually has a little bit of weight on it. So one bone has a little bit of influence on the one after it. Which I like a lot. Makes it look like an actual scarf. The thing that gave me the most difficulty, because it was multiple meshes, was the head. And I eventually just needed to combine it into one big mesh, essentially. And I was able to apply textures to each of the individual parts. So if I click on the head, and where? Darn, I don't know where it is. Maybe it's in edit mode? There's some blend shapes that I put on here so that I could show the other expressions, but Can't find it. It's somewhere in there. Yeah, this is the 3D bike model. This is currently what is in VR chat. I'm hoping to eventually do a version without the scarf and butterfly core. Oh, and the V-fins. Because this version would basically just be what a retail bike would look like. I would do a recolor or give a few different recolors as options, and I would upload this version as a public version for other people to use on VR chat. And then this version would be only me. I could include the scarf on the public version, maybe, but yeah, the V-fins and the core are only Toksan. Anyways, let me switch back to Clip Studio. Whoops, I just removed a window. Here we go. Docs, not stats. Which one did I close? No, I don't need any of those. It was activity. Here we go. There we go. That's better. All right. So yeah, that's kind of like the thought process, what I learned from my previous 3D modeling, and what I'm trying to prevent, or what I'm trying to improve. Let's go ahead and finish the legs. A little overlap there is not a bad thing. Let me actually. There we go. Yeah. Hmm. It feels like the wrong angle. Maybe. I think that's decent. I think. Let's see. I think that might be better. Yeah. Too zoomed in. All right. Oh, come on. Hmm. Now the feet are a little bit weird because they might look a little bit different because of the perspective. God, I am so excited to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1 again. That game is just so good. That's... Oh, but as I thought, the leg does look a little crooked, doesn't it? There we go. Easy enough. Probably because the leg right here is at an angle. That's the one I was using as a reference. Let's go ahead and fill this gap just in case. Now the actual feet are a bit cartoonish. Hmm. I don't think the feet are flat. Hello, Prowler. How are you doing? I think that's it for the side profile. Yeah, I can probably adjust or put more complicated. I think the boots themselves are going to be like bigger than the feet. That's what I was trying to prevent, but like I think this might be a good, better way to go. Doing all right, kind of average day at work. Well, I'm glad you're okay. That's front and side. I think if there's something else uh oh, you know what? Back would be good. Back is a little bit easier too, because there's a secret to it. Kingdom Hearts shoes? Not quite, but and okay, so first, important distinction. You're not gonna see the thumbs. Or you will, just like that. You're also not gonna see the inside of the face. There you go. No, that's not smart. Hello, TPR. Hope you're doing well. I think that's pretty much it. Those are the very basic shapes. Looking a bit before bed. Understandable. Thank you for being here. Okay. That's a decent amount of work. Although, let me canvas size make it 1000 just to give myself some more room. There we go. I don't think that's quite right. That's what I thought. That's good. Good. Neck ending around there is fine. Yeah. Hair ending there is fine. So it's the feet mostly. About like the center of the shoulder. Okay, that could be moved down just a little bit. There you go. Probably move it forward just a little bit too. Alright, now let's look at the feet here. Probably explains why the feet felt so small. Yeah, alright. That's better. Probably save myself a headache later. Uh, Anything else look concerning? I guess I can double check the, oops. Come on. Ah, this is what I want. There we go. Yep, that looks good. Ears. Yep, that looks good. Yeah, I think that's all good. Everything's level. So now, we have more complicated stuff. You know what? I want to make sure of something. Nice, they're all solid too. Okay, so what I want to do is fill. Into something like, I don't know. Because that will help me see it better in Blender. Good at solid shapes this time. Actually, let me... This might be in 2 steps, or 3 steps. Basics, ref, for base, body. I think that's good. And then one more. Mark that as reference layer, reference layer. Oh wait, you can only have one reference layer at a time. I see. Never mind. Okay, and then finally basics ref for what would I call it? Detailed body. I think because what I want to do, it might be better if I give myself like stages of progression. So at first I have the base shapes. Second, I have kind of the more detailed shapes. I kind of flesh it out a bit with a little bit of the clothing. And finally, when you find it, finishing touches. Might be good. Might be overcomplicating it, but I think that's nothing new. uh, only been going for about an hour, so I can definitely get started on the next layer. I'll put all these in the same folder here. Basics. And then the next folder, model detail 1, probably. I'll also probably want to make individual reference of some kind to the different things here, like the sword, the gloves, the pouch, the belt, the goggles. Um, hmm. But I don't want it to be too complicated, so I think having just one mesh, not very many toggles. I imagine if there's any toggle on this model, it'd be that I take off the bandana and probably can remove the weapon, just in case. Because sometimes it'd be nice to not have the weapon, I imagine. And then eventually, of course, I do all these, but that's a different thing. Blend shapes and such. So the main thing I would want to accomplish here, I don't really need to do a lot of work in terms of texture detail. So I'd want to shape out the clothing a bit more. That works. Now, yeah, okay. Let me just front. Here we go. And let's copy over a I should probably just go ahead and make one for back too. There we go. Copy over the symmetry lines before I forget. Okay. Probably should make this a little transparent. I think that works. All right. Again, don't really need that much texture detail on this because that's what the reference sheet is for, and I don't think I'm gonna I still need to figure out my method for making the textures themselves. I could try texture painting. I feel like it would be better to make a texture sheet in a sprite or something similar. That's what I did with Byte model, which worked out pretty well, but Byte is also pretty low detail. Uh, I don't know what's up with my color palettes. Very weird. Okay, so I would want to first, let's get some shaping done. Like that. Yeah. And there may be folds and stuff in the fabric, but I think generally it'd be better if I'm going for something lower detail, not like low poly really, but more in the Wii and 3DS direction. Specifically, the Dragon Quest X. A lot of my details are going to be in the texture, not in the actual model shape. Just something I'm gonna need to keep in mind. I do really like how the hair turned out in this. So let me make sure. Hmm. There's a scarf in the finished art, but including the scarf on the art that I'm using to make the model would probably make things more difficult. I think I'll go without including the scarf, just so it's easier to tell where things are. The scarf will not be hard to add later on to the model itself. So, and while I'm trying not to be super detailed on the model reference, it will make it easier to tell where different changes in the shape will go. Because your face isn't just like a flat front. There we go. It is pretty good. All right. And then refin number 1, refin number 2. Turn off the symmetry briefly. God, I don't think I've said it enough. I fucking love this design so much. It's so good. I very proud of it. Worked very hard on it, and it turned out great. Okay, so there's gonna be actually two layers here because my body is around here, right? My shoulders around here, but there's clothing on top of it, kind of thick clothing, including chainmail shirt. Um, but in terms of the model itself, I don't think it'll matter. Again, not going for anything super high detail, so it's actually going to be higher up than. I forgot to turn back on symmetry. There we go. What if it's. Yeah, there we go. Because my arms are straight up, like that, the shoulders are going to be a little bit different. Okay. I think I should do this. No, too steep. Do that. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to undo the symmetry at some point for the arms, but I think the start. Somewhere around there. Yeah, yeah, I think that looks good. Honestly, I think for the tunic, I might be able to do something similar to what some other outfits in Dragon Quest do, where kind of like a drape almost over a bodysuit, kind of like the priest outfit. Not quite the priest outfit, but similar. I'm looking through to see if I can find a good example. Yeah, there's the Dragon Quest 3 priest. Okay, I think maybe the closest thing would be the thief from 3. Or honestly, hero from 3. Erdrick. Very much in Erdrick style. Let me see if I can bring in. Here we go. This is Erdrick. So you can kind of see there's like that kind of bodysuit vibe going on, but he has a tunic over it. And also the belt, really big and in the middle of it. So that's similar to the vibe of what I'm going for here, with a little bit of chainmail underneath. Okay, and then there's like these guards here. Like that. Okay, and then the actual, it goes like that. Plus, again, a little bit of chainmail there. And then big meaty hands. Just don't really have that many details. It's just a leather glove, basically. Like that. That's pretty good. Let's just add a little bit of indication of chainmail. Like that. I think that's pretty good. Am I forgetting any important details? Other than the scarf. Right. The bandana has the tie off to the side here, with the knot being there, pretty much. That's pretty much it. So now, and I need to make sure to remember when I'm making the model, that sleeve is still underneath the pauldron here. Yeah. Okay. So first off, goes like that, and then that's about what it is. And that is the extent of the detail. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me look and see if I think that gives a good amount of shape information. I think it's really going to come down to the legs. There's a good amount of detail missing down here. And again, while in the reference art, there's like folds here. That's not really going to be feasible to do on the model itself without making it higher detail. So I'm going to do like one fold like that. And there would be a fold there. But and then the boots themselves are a bit bigger. Like that. Now the question is that a reasonable detail to include? I think so. It may just be a little complicated, but hasn't scared me before. Like that. Kind of like an upside down parapet. Not parapet. You know what I mean, though. And then there's this. Ah, right. So here's like a belt, but I don't think I'm actually going to make it a layer. It's just going to be a detail on the texture itself. And then same here. Okay. I think for basic info, I think that's pretty good. Maybe I could like add something like that. I think that's good. Okay. And then I would need to do that from the front and the side. Do I want to do that right now? Good question, me. Well, I will find that answer in a minute. I'm gonna go on a quick BRB. Okay. Payak, thank you for your patience. Okay, so that's the front view. Now the question is the back view really necessary for this one? I honestly don't think so. There's not a lot different. Generally speaking, there's gonna be like the same shapes from the back. If anything, I could do some alternative stuff to give some extra references for the head. I don't think my hands need. Just trying to think of like extra stuff that would need reference. The head for this, like the scarf, the bandana, and the goggles, and then maybe the scarf. So let's actually remove this. I don't need that. I will eventually need the side view, but not right this moment. Instead, oh, this is cool. Copy paste. There you go. Okay. All right. Here we go. So first, this scarf, like that. Oh, we could probably remove the fins. Ah, wait. Realize we forgot. There we go. Okay, so that should give me decent perspective on what I want to do on the goggles. And then if I copy this, what is this? Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles X. So there's a incomprehensible song title. All right. Oh, wait, actually. That works. Back detail. Maybe I can. There we go. Okay, there we go. And now would be a good time for the ponytail. Come in. When you get that detailed. All right. And for the bandana, no, actually, probably closer to this. So if the angle of the goggles is like that, it'd probably be like that. And then there would be a buckle probably in the back. Like that. So for this, I think it's pretty good. Am I forgetting anything important? Other than the sword, which maybe I'll do that in the third row. I think that's everything. All the important stuff. So now we just do it from the side. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do for this is open the sketch in the reference area. Like that. There we go. Leo, what are you doing? I'm laying down. Okay. All right. All right. First, titling it properly would be nice. Okay. All right. There's a lot of hair down there. Go ahead and get that addressed. Like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot a key detail. There was something I forgot. The extra hair. And it sweeps to the side on this one. Like that. And then I'll leave it off on this one, just to make the face easier to see. But on this one, whoops. There we go. That's better. I like that more. There we go. Okay. So let's work on shaping this a bit. Let's move this over. There we go. There's the belt buckle, and then this is the pouch. And then now kind of like a bodysuit feel like down here. Actually, no, not bodysuit. This would be female. There we go. Okay. So now for the legs. I believe we're putting a little bit of like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, all right. Sorry, future Toksan, but you're gonna have to figure this out later. The two belts on the boot. All right, there. And here. All right. I think that's decent enough. Do I appear to be missing anything? Ah, I think one thing I could probably add is stuff like that. Okay. Okay. And then I don't really need. Actually, completely clear that out. There we go. Can't quite do a fill solution on the detailed one, at least for the middle. Let me see if I can. We'll make this one green. Yeah, nice. Okay. That'll make it easier. And then the front. Nice. Okay. Hmm. Just trying to think of what else I need to add. I think this might be good. That's basically all the information I would need for the body itself. The last thing would be the sword. So honestly, let's not make these red anymore, but make the detailed body ones blue. Or no, purple. Just looking over, I don't see anything else that needs to be super duper detailed. No, I think that's it. The only thing left is the sword. It's the only actual accessory. I have a good reference for my hair up here. I have a good reference for the bandana and goggles here. And the scarf. And the pauldron is, I mean, it's the same on either side, so that's fine. Yeah, okay. Alright. Sword. Alright. I don't really need that many details. Just get the shape. You know what? I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. I'm going to take the symmetry there. Alright, this is gonna be the first time I've designed a sword in a while, so that's gonna be nice. That honestly, I don't think I need this at all. I mean, I've already drawn the one part that's here, so I can just get rid of this too. Not get rid of. Let's move it up again. Okay. Okay. Before I go too complicated, let me just look at. I mean, there's a lot of detailed swords in Dragon Quest. I don't think making it detailed or complicated in design would be that out of character. Yeah, I think we're good. Oh, I think I have an idea. Oh, okay. No. I feel like the hilt is too big, or the pommel is too big for the rest of the sword. That's better. What if how do I turn that into a design for a sword? I mean, this doesn't really make sense. I could do it like this. No, kind of impractical too. I have an idea though. Ooh, okay. Kind of a weird sword. Oops. But I like it. It's supposed to reference the thing on the chest. This is the emblem of the philosopher's core, or the philosopher's stone. Uh, so I think the sword having a reference to that would be cool. You would hold it in here, and it's a little impractical, but you know what? It's impractical. Cool. Mm-hmm. Although on the 3D model itself, it would be kind of pain in the ass to model. So actually, I'll put it down to that, which I think still gets the idea across. And on the model itself, the sword is not going to really be drawn. Maybe one day, but it would be mostly in its sheath, right? And in Blender itself, there will be ways to make sure these are straight and not crooked or anything like that. So I'm not too concerned there. You can basically align multiple vertices to be along the same axis and have the same X or Y or Z value. So that should be pretty easy to correct if need be. All right. First, this is the sword. Straight. I'll need to make a side reference, but first, let's rotate it to match. Yeah, I like that. I think it's long enough. Delete the ruler on this version. Sword angled. One more time, let's see it behind the detailed one. Yeah, that looks cool. I like that. So now, let's make a copy of the detailed model from the front. Is now we need to get the strap. So at least the reference is from here to there. And wraps around the body at that point. I think so. So like these here, and what I will do let me move the front copy up to the sword folder. That make this red. Whoops. Do a fill here. And then green. Do that. There we go. Move these over slightly. And then finally, we're going to do the sword from the side. I can just copy the symmetry here. That's weird. Why can't I move the object? That's weird. That's fine, I can just make another one. Or just to make sure it's the right. Here we go. I'm just going to duplicate this layer and then erase everything. There we go. Back to that one. Here we go. All right. It's going to be like that. And then spikes like that. This is going to be the exact same because it's a cylinder. Okay, now for the complicated part. Why did I make this sword this way? We're almost done. I have to push through. Okay, we're gonna make the sword this wide, and there's gonna be a gemstone right here. This is gonna be pretty much the Philosopher's Stone. And then like that. Yeah. Oh wait, this wraps around. Why did I make this sword this way? Okay. thick is his sword teeth? Not that thick, right? Compared to the sword itself. Yeah, not remarkably thick. Okay. So nothing crazy then. Let's do like. No, that feels too thick still. Alright. Yeah. Hot damn. Alright, I think that's that might be everything. Alright. So that's I would still need to color the original design, but in terms of turning this design into a 3D model, I think that's pretty much everything we need. So now I would just export it to as a PNG. There we go. I would export this as a PNG, and then I put it in the background of my Blender project, and that would do it. I'd be able to basically align it to certain axes, and well, I can talk about it all I want actually, but just show you. One second. All right, perceive if you will. What? Where is it? There you go. Perceive if you will the Blender cube. And why did my window resize itself? Come on. What? What's going on? Alright, let me save this somewhere. Okay. Toksan 3D 1 work in progress. There we go. Alright. So what I can do is just take this, click and drag it. Or I thought. There we go. So this reference image we've been working on is now just in Blender. And I can resize it. And let me just move it backwards. There was something else that I could do. Let me. Can I crop it? No, probably not very easily. Alright, that's the ref. Play as... There's something that I can do. Scene? Source single image now. Color paste now. What is it? Only axis aligned. Oh, okay. So I can turn this on, right? And it disappears if I change the angle, which will make it easier to look at the model once I'm done editing everything. Actually, let me re-export this. The transparent background. It's gonna make things easier. What? Come on. What? What's going on? Why is it not exporting as transparent? Come on. I believe in you. Okay. Export. PNG. Yeah, it's right there. And it's transparent. So why is the version that's going into Blender out of date? Let's see. Dragon Knight 3D. What the heck? Would you just update yourself, please? I just opened this right now. It's transparent. So why is it going in? What the hell? Why is it? Oh my god. Okay. Let's just close Blender, I guess, and then try again. Okay, Blender, do you want to participate in the stream this time? Finally. Okay. Okay, so there's kind of a weird white outline, but that's fine. This is what I was wanting. So I would be able to do that to where it lines up. And now, so it's kind of difficult to see, right? But you can now do this. And come on, where is it? Not materials. It's been a while since I've used this apparently. There should be a way for me to see through it. Edit mode? X-ray. There we go. So with X-ray enabled, I can, let's just delete everything. Delete the cube, please. So if I want to make like the basic shapes, I can just use this row. And then once I'm done with that, move along this row. This isn't the best, but then after that, make the sword. And after that, it's texture painting and all that stuff. But what you generally do is add a cube. Fine. Just have a cube. And then what you do is move it up here, scale it down to about how big the chest should be. And then now we have just this cube, right? But if you're saying, Toksan, are you going to do both sides independently? Wouldn't that be a pain in the ass? And you're correct, that would be. Luckily, that's not what you do. Let me see if I can remember. Yeah, Control R puts a line in the middle. I'm going to delete half of this. Now you just have half a cube, right? Press 1 on the numpad to go back to this view. Then you go to Modifiers, Generate. Let me make sure it's actually showing up. Modifiers, Generate. Come on. Mirror. And enable clipping. So now it's going to mirror all the stuff I do. And regardless of the axis. And it can't go beyond the middle. If I turn off clipping, I can do this. By doing clipping, you're basically filling in the middle. And then once I'm done, say, I want to like shape this a little bit. Okay, say that's the shape I'm satisfied with, right? You can go over here, behind the chat box. There's a drop down, and go into object mode and click apply. And now there's not symmetry anymore, but this is just a whole object. Of course, I'm not done with it yet. But yeah, you see the vertices on the other side have been generated. So I have a full object now that is symmetrical with the edits that I've made. That's basically what you do. So now I have the front side kind of shaped, right? We're going to call this ref front. And then we'll have another one, ref side. And we're going to rotate that. Oops, no. We need to go back to object mode, ref side. And it should be object transform, rotate. Ah, right. Sorry, it's been a while. On the z-axis, rotate 90 degrees. There we go. You can just type in the numbers 90, and that's the degrees that you want to rotate it. So now, I press 3 on the numpad to look from the side. Press Y to shift along that axis. Let me rotate it 180. Rotate on the z-axis 180 degrees. There we go. Ooh. Like that, essentially. Just now we move it to over here. So from that view, now the reference is behind. That's basically it. So now that we have that side view, go back to the cube. Call it body. Edit mode. And here-ish, we have like a change in the shape. But we're starting to get like the general shape of the torso here. It might be better to do that. Okay, there we go. I like that. Turn off X-ray for a second. So kind of the upper torso here. So if I were wanting to move down a little bit, I can select here and then press E to extrude. Pretty quick torso shape. Obviously, I would want to round it out a little bit more. But like, that's the very basics of the process that I'm going to be doing now, essentially. But that's probably about it for this art portion. And I'll just work on this at some different time. So I'll put us on a quick BRB while the ad is running, and I'll figure out what I want to do next. BRB.